The Weekly, hosted by the editors of Pro Builder and Pro Remodeler, starts now.
How you doing, man? Good to see you.
It's good to see you, Dennis. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, dude. This is fantastic. It's the first time we've had a chance to get together in a while after all those crazy travels we've had over the years. Wonderful to be working with you and the Pro Builder team on a variety of events, especially some things that are coming up over the next few months.
Yeah, we're glad to be a part of it. The Alliance is just a great voice in the industry, and we're happy to be collaborating with you on this and some other things.
So let's dig right into it. We're together today to talk about offsite construction, right? And this is something that you and I have gone back and forth on for a long time. The industry's gone back and forth on it for even longer, right? And I think one of the things we need to get across is, so why aren't more builders using offsite construction?
Well, I think there's a lot of answers to that question. It's not just one silver bullet. If it was, I think we would have solved it already. I think that, generally, I think it's the fact that you have this legacy culture and infrastructure that is just naturally resistant to change. I mean, in my experience over the last 30 years covering housing, offsite in terms of just a concept has ebbed and flowed depending on circumstances, whether it's previous lumber price spikes, or whether it's some labor issues or some quality issues, but it never gains any traction significantly. I mean, I think the most market share offsite, and we're talking about modular and whole house panelization, has ever got is 7% of all new housing starts in a given year, and that was 22 years ago. So, in 2019, only 3% of the homes that were built, were modular or panelized, and even less so in multifamily. So, it's just it's a little baffling, but I think that right now there's some circumstances that are causing builders to pay much more attention, and I think there's an opportunity to kind of help them, and help us understand kind of where where the issue is, where the barriers are, and hopefully get through them.
Right on. So now it's an opportunity for us to all do what we do best, right? We'll get a couple great leaders from the industry up on stage, give them a chance to kind of tell their story about their journeys as they transition from on-site delivery models to off-site models, and kind of talk about their fail forwards and what they had to do organizationally to kind of shift the minds of their teams and make sure that they had their fingers on the pulse of that transition as it's taking place. So you're going to lead us on that journey, right, Rich?
Yeah, I'm going to be with you at the summit on November 11th. We've got a couple of sessions, one a main kind of presentation session, and then we're going to follow it up with a roundtable. But yeah, we've got some builders who have gone through the war, have gone through the wall bloody, and come out and figured it out. And I think that when you look at folks like Oakwood and Woodside and Van Meter, I mean, those guys have the experience and can share that experience with builders who are, have either gone through to a certain degree and pulled back, or have just resisted and don't think it's for them, or don't really know where to start. So we do have a great group, and also a working group that you and I have been working with that's just fantastic, of people that have their finger on the pulse of a lot of aspects of a builder's business and how offsite affects it.
Yeah, I think in that working group, collectively, they've probably talked to hundreds of builders throughout the United States that are delivering hundreds of thousands of homes, right? I mean, we have Scott Sedan from True North, Glenn Cottrell from the Ibicus Perform team, Brian Sayre from Shadow Ventures, bringing a completely different tilt to it and saying, let's turn this thing upside down, stand on its head, and then flip it sideways and see what we really need to solve the problem.
Yeah.
As well as Eric Holt from the University of Denver, who's been a long-time strategic partner of both of ours and helping us and kind of think differently about how we deliver new solutions to the marketplace.
Yeah, I think both Eric and Brian especially. I mean, obviously Scott Sedan has been in this industry longer than I have, and has worked for large production builders who have considered and ventured into offsite. And obviously Glenn and his team, they go out to hundreds of job sites and see thousands of homes going up, talk to builders, talk to subcontractors, suppliers, and they really have their finger on the pulse in the on-site kind of, right in the trenches kind of perspective. But Eric brings this new study that he's done, which I think is really interesting, on comparing the materials and labor efficiencies or costs among site built to all sorts of different offsite opportunities. And then, Brian, like you said, brings this kind of fresh perspective, and also, has his finger on the pulse of where the capital is to invest in offsite. What are venture capitalists looking for? And I can tell you, in talking to him and other people, it's not in the traditional way that we build. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for something innovative that's solving the problems that we have now in terms of housing supply and production and skilled labor.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome working group that we have. We had a lot of fun in those conversations, and I know you mentioned something else that I think is really important to emphasize. It's these think tanks, right? So, day of, leading up to, we have opportunities for both of our communities to get involved, share their thoughts, their experiences, ask their questions with the industry at large. And I think that's really important as we craft this story and the journey that we're going to take people on after the event itself, because November 11th is a moment in time.
Yeah.
But through our collaboration, joint content development, we're going to be developing, further emphasizing elements of this story that need to be delayered and shared with the communities, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that's what's really, underscoring the point is that, just as transitioning to offsite is not a one-shot thing and that doesn't live in a vacuum of just a construction site. I mean, it's comprehensive and it takes work, and it does require a roadmap from a cultural aspect all the way through customer care. I mean, you can't ignore any part of your operation if you're making this transition. And so it'd be unfair to kind of have, one event or one story or, one, Zoom interview where we talk about offsite and think that we've solved the problem. And I think we're both committed in this group, and hopefully the builders that participate are committed to really, moving that needle, starting to turn that aircraft carrier around. And it's going to take time, and we're excited about the prospect of creating content with you and sharing content between us to get that message out and really kind of encapsulate, the scope of what this is going to take.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to walk through this all with us. It's great to see you here at the pub again.
Yeah.
Be able to share a beer, and look forward to the event on November 11th and then the content to follow.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. And again, thanks for having us a part of this and making us part of this group. And cheers, buddy. We'll see you there.
Cheers, man.